All right, let's go to the second big tech product. This one's actually a throwback from a long time ago, but Google released Google Glass, their AR product, a while ago. This had massive hype. I don't think there's ever been anything in tech which almost had this much hype. Maybe the metaverse.
I bought one.
Did you buy one?
I am a Google Glass customer,
No
shamefully. Yeah.
Well, it found a market in enterprise, a limited market, but it never got the mass adoption that it expected. And ultimately, when we see brands like Apple now working on AR hardware, this probably was maybe too early, and obviously lacks a lot of features as well. But let's have a look at Google Glass, and then we'll get your perspective on it. Okay. I will say this video is a representation of what it would look like. The downside with AR glasses is you can't really film through them to make an advert, so it's all simulated. But this is a day in the life of a Google Glass user. You can tell it's Google because the icons are circles. I think the one person in the world using Google Plus is probably still looking at them.
I can say as a Google Glass owner, this is definitively a simulation of what it should look like rather than what it actually did.
Oh man, really?
So the concept for those watching is a pair of glasses, essentially, which could display directions, text messages, do video calls, alarms, alerts, reminders. Did you use it for anything else, Joe?
I didn't even use it for that. I think one of the problems was that it had such limited kind of applications that you could use for it, actually.
This is it.
Yeah.
All here yet?
It makes me think when Apple releases theirs, what it will be like. Because Apple doesn't release half-baked products.
Sure.
Rarely.
For sure.
You could look at the Newton and disagree, but and that was,
I had a Newton as well. They were great.
Newton. Oh man.
I love my Newton.
Thanks, man. See you, dude.
The thing you notice about this video is at no point does it actually show his face
No.
wearing the Google glasses.
Yeah.
Because the single big problem with Google glasses is you look like a Muppet when you're wearing them.
You do look ridiculous. Which is surprising they didn't focus on that at all.
Absolutely.
And then the heartwarming end to the ad here.
Hi, what's up?
Hey,
Hey.
you want to say something cool?
Yeah, sure. Is that a ukulele?
Yep. Okay, here goes.
Of course he plays a ukulele. Yeah. Kind of people that wear Google glasses are exactly the kind of people that play ukuleles on a rooftop in Brooklyn.
It's a cool song. Okay. All right. Google Glass. Okay.
You can actually augment this product with a Pixie, so she can see him while they're having a video call.
That's creepy. I can see it happening. Edward, what's your views on Google Glass?
I generally like the concept, and I think that's a very interesting idea. And I think augmented reality definitely has a future. But potentially the product itself was just a bit too early to market.
Yeah.
And I think, majority of the usefulness of this product actually comes from the enterprise space, from like training, from providing guidance to professionals in the field, etc.
Yeah.
I actually been product testing quite a while ago, Microsoft HoloLens, when it was just like preparing for release.
Sure.
So it was like very, very interesting experience and very new at the time. So yeah, I actually think that's a very interesting product, but just a bit too early to the market and was a bit wrong focus.
Okay. Well, what do you think, Joe?
I mean, it's interesting. It feels to me like the Google Glass is a victim of its own marketing, right? Because at the time, it was a really interesting tech demo, right? It was a prototype, effectively, that you could buy. But someone at Google made a decision that they were going to launch it like a real consumer product. Yeah. And so the expectations were completely misaligned, right? So you'd get these early adopter type folks, myself included, who'd buy it expecting the video, right? Expecting this mature, capable product. And it was basically a developer kit. Yeah. It was basically like, here's a thing you can build some stuff for yourself. And if you look at it in that way and those are your expectations, then it's a perfectly capable device. And as you said, it's kind of it's part of the increasingly powerful lineage of AR devices, right? And it's a really important part, and it was very innovative at the time. But yeah, I think that it was a victim of its own expectations. I think.
So it sounds like you both. I'd agree as well. Agree with the concept of AR glasses. I think that's everyone knows that's going to be a thing. It's just the execution which Google implemented, which went down wrong. If you had to guesstimate how long until AR glasses are as popular as an iPhone, and we're having this conversation, and I look up to my glance because my missus has just sent me a text. 5 years, 10 years. If I had to push you for a number, Edward, what would your guesstimate be?
To be honest, I don't think they would become as ubiquitous as iPhone or like any kind of these devices, because I think just the fact that you are being constantly connected and like specifically close to your face, let's say, I think like other types of wearables, such as smartwatches, etc., can actually play this function. So I don't think they would become that ubiquitous. I actually think that the application is more within the gaming enterprise space.
Okay. What do you think, Joe?
I think it's interesting, right? Because when you think about AR and to a lesser extent VR, the big technology problem is what's called field of vision.
Yeah.
Right. Which is that when you look through them, actually the place you can display the content is very limited. And it's one of the big inhibitors to people's usage of them, right? Because when you do it, it feels like the small screen died 20 years ago, right? Yeah. And it feels like a callback to a different time where the display technology wasn't good enough yet. And if you can solve that problem, I think that it could become ubiquitous. But I completely agree with what you said. I think that I wear glasses. You wear glasses.
I do.
So I would be perfectly happy to have an AR projection in my glasses.
Me too.
But you don't wear glasses. And therefore you would need to make a choice to wear glasses in order to be able to take advantage of it. Yeah. And I feel like that for me, like that delivery mechanism, that kind of almost like that final yard of AR, I don't think has been solved yet. People think it's going to be glasses or a watch or something, right? But I think that humans, like having a bit of thing on your face, if you're not used to having a thing on your face, is, again, it sounds like a bit of a naive way to think about it, but like I'm not sure everybody's going to go for that. I completely agree with what you said.
The adoption, it would be an issue if people are not already wearing glasses. I get that. I didn't wear glasses for most of my life, and only started wearing them really in the past year or so. I suppose that's what looking at screens for a decade does to you, right? Okay. You mentioned you bought it. Do you remember what you paid for it?
I don't. If I were to guess, it was about 1,200 quid.
Yeah.
Like that.
So as far as I could find, they were sold at $1,500.
Sounds about right.
It's probably not the number which would get most people bought into buying it at. You know, it's too high, right? Yeah. What do you think would be a sensible price point in order to get mass adoption on something like this?
It depends on mass adoption, right? I mean, if you look at VR as an analogy, it's not perfect, but it kind of is a little bit. If you look at things like Oculus, PlayStation VR, and a bunch of the more widely deployed VR systems, like hovering at or around the like £500 to £700 mark is kind of a sweet spot for VR tech these days for the glasses themselves. Yeah. Now, obviously, people who like to play games are used to spending a lot of money on electronics, so therefore maybe they're not a perfect analogy for AR.
Sure. But
like in the same way that, to your point earlier, if consumers can perceive the same utility from AR glasses as they would perceive from their cell phone, then the world's your oyster, right? And there's potentially any price. But I think that if you would look at it the same, I would think it's much more analogous to like AirPods and AirPods Pro at a price point, where it's an enabling device for your phone.
It's not a replacement to the smartphone. It's a supplement. Okay, cool. So if I had to ask you to rate Google Glass out of 10, let's go for it. Keep in mind that the Pixie only got a 3. Okay. So even though it's a dev kit, you'd say 6. I think I'd say a solid 6 or a 7. Yeah, so 12. Okay. Cool. Okay. 6 is a nice number. 7 is a safe number because 7, I often said in my old team meetings, I'd say, look, I want you to rate this idea out of 10, but you can't use 7. Because then people are going to go 8 or 6, and 6 means could use improvement. 8 means let's go for it. Hey, thanks for watching this YouTube video. If you want to see more like this, please remember to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.